Ever wondered what the Japanese really believed about ghosts, demons, and death? Not just spooky headlines or sensational stories, but cultural truths rooted in centuries of tradition? Today, we're exploring a world where restless spirits wander, samurai honor and grievance linger in legend, and death is framed as separation and transformation. These beliefs were shaped by Shinto's purity rules, Buddhist mortuary rites, and a long lineage of folklore and theater. Let's step into that world, where the living and dead still share the same space, and uncover stories that textbooks rarely tell. Welcome to Japan Rewind, where we bring the hidden stories of samurai, geisha, and everyday life in old Japan to vivid life. Each week we dive into the myths, history, and traditions that shaped a world both mysterious and unforgettable. If you love history, told through powerful stories, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss the next journey into Japan's past. The spiritual roots, Shinto, Buddhism, and the soul. Japan's spiritual foundations come from a blend of Shinto and Buddhism. Shinto is the indigenous way, where kami, spirits or deities, inhabit mountains, rivers, and even oddly shaped rocks. Buddhism arrived from China and Korea in the 6th century and quickly shaped Japan's view of death and the afterlife. Because death is treated as kegare, ritual impurity in Shinto, shrines generally avoid funerals. In practice, a large majority, commonly reported as around 9 in 10, of funerals follow Buddhist rites, with priests conducting memorials that, in many folk beliefs, help the deceased's reikon, spirit, join the family's yūrei, or ancestor spirits. Shinto-style funerals, shinsosai, emerged in the Edo period, but remain a minority. The idea of the reikon is central in folk belief. If memorials are performed properly, the spirit becomes a benign ancestor, protective and revered. Without them, the spirit risks becoming restless. This blending is clearest during Obon, a Buddhist-based festival where families welcome ancestors home with lanterns, offerings, and graveside visits. Depending on the region, Obon is celebrated in July or mid-August. Streets glow with light and music, symbolizing a moment when the boundary between living and dead grows thin. For the Japanese, death wasn't simply final. It was transformation. A soul could either ascend peacefully to the ancestral realm or linger uneasily in the world of the living. When rites fail, yūrei, the restless ghost. But what if death was sudden, violent, or rituals were neglected? In such cases, lore says the reikon may not rest, and instead becomes a yūrei, a ghost bound to this world by unfinished business or overwhelming emotion. Unlike peaceful ancestor spirits, yūrei appear sorrowful, sometimes malevolent. Their familiar look, white burial kimono, long unbound hair, and often no feet, coalesced in the Edo period through kabuki staging and yūrei-su paintings, such as those by Maruyama Okyo, then spread through ukiyo-e. That imagery still echoes today in Japanese horror films. What makes yūrei unique is purpose. They don't float aimlessly. In many stories, they pursue something: revenge, closure, or acknowledgement. A betrayed lover might reappear until apologies are offered. A soldier slain unjustly might linger until his honor is restored. These ghostly tales exploded in Edo, Japan. The candlelit game, Hyaku Monogatari Kaidankai, where players told 100 ghost stories, made yūrei lore both entertainment and cautionary tale. As the last candle was extinguished, some whispered that a real spirit might appear. Yūrei, then, weren't just bedtime scares. They reflected anxieties about forgotten dead, unkept promises, and the fragile balance between human duty and spiritual peace. Goryō and onryō, spirits of vengeance. Not all spirits returned in sorrow. Some came back in anger. These were the feared Goryō and onryō. Goryō were wrathful spirits of nobles or warriors who died unjustly, believed to cause disasters, storms or plagues. To appease them, the court performed Goryō-i, pacification rites, a core part of Goryō Shinto belief. The most famous example is Sugawara no Mikizane, a scholar politician exiled in the 9th century. After his death, Kyoto was struck by disasters blamed on his spirit. To pacify him, the court deified him as Tenjin, the kami of learning. His shrines remain some of the most visited in Japan. Another case is Taira no Masakado, a rebel killed and decapitated in 940. His severed head was said to haunt the capital. In Edo, he was enshrined. Kandama-yojin in Tokyo still venerates him today. Later, folklore popularized the term onryō for personal vengeful ghosts, often betrayed women who died in despair. Their stories, wives poisoned, lovers abandoned, became staples of Edo kabuki and no plays such as Yotsuya Kaidan. The archetype of the betrayed woman ghost, long-haired and sorrowful, still dominates Japanese horror. These beliefs weren't just scary stories. They reinforced moral codes. Betrayal, injustice, and cruelty weren't only social sins. They carried supernatural consequences. Living ghosts, the tale of the Ikiryō. Japanese lore adds a chilling twist. Sometimes the living themselves become ghosts. These are Ikiryō, spirits of people still alive whose emotions are so intense that their soul leaves their body to haunt others. Ikiryō was said to be born of jealousy, grief, or hatred. Unlike yūrei, they didn't wait for death to act. An angry person's spirit might visit an enemy in dreams, cause illness, or even appear visibly. The classic case is Lady Rukujō in the tale of Genji. Consumed by jealousy, her Ikiryō possesses Lady Aoi, Genji's wife. The story became the no play Aoi no Ue, which dramatizes Buddhist exorcistic rites used to pacify the possessing spirit. This concept shows how emotion itself was seen as powerful enough to transcend the body. To feel too much, too strongly, could literally tear one's soul loose. In a society that prized harmony, the Ikiryō was both a cautionary tale and a chilling reminder of how inner turmoil could erupt into outer calamity. Shinigami, Yōkai, and the spirits of death. Beyond ghosts, Japan's supernatural world teems with Shinigami, Yōkai, and mythic deities. The word Shinigami, literally death god, is not an ancient Shinto term. It surfaced in Edo period literature and Rakugo storytelling, often describing spirits associated with death or fatal compulsion. These beings didn't correspond to a single Reaper deity or the Western Grim Reaper. They were varied figures that lured people toward their end. At the mythic level, Shinto speaks of Izanami, who died giving birth to fire. She descended into Yomi, the shadowy land of the dead, becoming forever associated with mortality and impurity. Her story mythically links death to her separation from the living world. Then there are the countless Yōkai, beings ranging from tricksters to terrors. The mountain-dwelling Tengu, once seen as dangerous demons, gradually evolved into ambivalent figures. Legend holds the Tengu of Mount Kurama trained Minamoto no Yoshitsune in swordsmanship. Kappa, water creatures with hollow skulls, warned children away from rivers. Oni, horned ogres, punished greed and violence. Scholars note that yokai stories weren't just scares. They reflected social anxieties, taught moral lessons, and embodied natural dangers. To meet a tengu or kappa was to encounter both the unknown and a cultural warning. In Japan, demons and yokai were mirrors, warning, testing, and sometimes guiding humanity. So what did the Japanese really believe about ghosts, demons, and death? The answer lies in the tapestry woven of Shinto, Buddhism, and folklore, where death was transformation, spirits reflected society's values, and even emotions could outlive the body. From ancestor rites to Edo ghost stories, from wrathful nobles to jealous Ikiryō, from Izanami's descent into Yomi to the unsettling Shinigami, Japanese beliefs made the unseen world feel ever-present. If this journey into Japan's supernatural past intrigued you, hit like, subscribe, and share in the comments which spirit you'd least want to meet on a dark night. Want me to dive deeper? Into ghost rituals, Edo horror theater, or the hidden lives of yokai? Let me know and we'll explore together. Until next time, keep your lanterns lit, and always respect the thin boundary between this world and the next.